Hi, my name is Ricky from Ricky's Reptile Enclosures, and today on Ball Python Care, we're going to talk about the shed cycle. Now, the shed cycle is about 1 to 2 weeks long, and it varies for every snake. In fact, for some snakes it'll be 1 week one time, and the next time it'll be 2 weeks. For adult ball pythons, you should expect your adult ball python to shed probably around 4 or 5 times a year. And if it's a hatchling, anywhere up to about 2 years, it'll probably shed its skin 5 to 7 times a year. That really ranges. It depends how fast it's growing, what it's eating, its environment, and all those kind of things. So what I'm going to show you today is Helix, who is our 11-year-old normal female ball python, is going into shed, and we're going to start videoing her on a daily basis. Probably 6 or 7 videos, maybe 8 or 9, we'll see. And what we're going to do is chronicle her shed cycle. At the end, I'll explain to you what it is that helped her shed as well as she's going to shed. And I'll show you her skin at the end. I have some skin in front of me, which is actually her old skin. I've ripped it into 3 pieces because it's easier to manage. It dries up pretty fragile. I'd say it's similar to rice paper once it's dried. Right after the shed, it's very soft. It's usually wrapped up inside of itself. If you catch it within the first few hours, you can easily unroll it and make it flat like this. If you're careful, you can get it all in one piece. Sometimes it's rips because it's very fragile. And you can hang it up on your wall or take it to school or take it to work and show your friends. Pretty much everyone is fascinated by snakeskin, including myself. In fact, shedding is probably my favorite part of the ball python. I mean, it's amazing that they can just shed their skin as long as you can help them through it. I was going to show it at the end of the video, but you know what? It's probably important that we go over this before, then we'll show the videos. So it's important to know that when shedding, ball python mainly needs humidity. Humidity needs to be raised to about 70%. If you have any questions about humidity, please go to our channel, check out our humidity video. It'll give you everything you need to know about humidity. It is very important that you maintain humidity around 70%. If your ball python finishes shedding and its eye caps are still stuck on or it's got shards of skin on its body, please do not bath your ball python. Do not take a Q-tip to its face or tweezers. The problem is that the humidity is too low in your enclosure or your fish tank. If this is the case, concentrate more on raising the humidity in your enclosure and letting the ball python do it on its own. If your ball python has bad sheds often, it's most likely a problem that you are causing, not your ball python. When I was younger, I used to have ball pythons that had bad sheds, and I thought, alright, this ball python is an idiot. I mean, how hard could it be to shed your skin? And what I've learned over the years is that actually it wasn't the ball python's problem, it was my problem. I wasn't giving the ball python the proper enclosure, I wasn't providing the proper humidity and the heat. Over the past few years, when we developed this enclosure for ball pythons, we managed to maintain the humidity around 70-80% very easily. Because of the acrylic that it's made out of, it insulates very well and the heat maintains very nicely. And since we've had our ball pythons in these enclosures, we have had only perfect sheds. They shed literally from their nose all the way down to their tail in one piece. Sometimes it rips in the middle, so it'll be 2 pieces, but they never have skin stuck on them. And it's been fantastic. So once again, this is Helix, and the next time you see her, it'll be day 2 of the shed cycle.
What to look for when your ball python is shedding on day 2. Day 1, you likely won't notice anything, which is why we're skipping straight to day 2. Day 2, you should notice the skin becoming dull. You should notice the colors becoming much darker, regardless of whether you have a ball python, which is a normal or a morph. The skin will become darker and duller. The ball python itself will likely not want to be handled and may hiss at you when you put your hand in the enclosure. And the other attribute to the shed cycle, which you should notice by day 2, is actually a pink hue on its belly, which you can see very clearly here. For the next couple days, what we should start to notice is the pink disappear, the skin will become even duller, and the eyes will glaze over. And we will show that later on in this video. Day 3. Day 3, her eyes are starting to become more opaque. They've lost their shine. Her skin is very dark brown. And over the next 2 or 3 days, we'll start to see some real big changes. But day 3 is a slow progression, and it's the day between the day you see it and the day you really start to notice it. Day 4 of the shed cycle, the eyes have started to go opaque and the skin is much darker. We'll see the biggest change probably happen tonight. Tomorrow she'll have very opaque white eyes and the skin will be much whiter. I suspect she'll shed within the next 3 to 4 days. We'll notice the eyes get much glazed over, almost completely white, and then a day or 2 later they'll go clear again, and usually that night or the day after she'll shed her skin. So we'll see if my predictions come true. On day 5 of the shed cycle, you'll notice the eyes go much more opaque and the skin is essentially grown underneath the fresh skin and the old skin has begun to separate. In the next few days, her eyes will go clear and she will shed her skin. So this is day 5, and tomorrow we'll notice the eyes go much more opaque, and then likely the next day they will clear, and the day after that, or that night, she will shed her skin. So this is day 5 of the shed cycle. Day 6 of the shed cycle, as mentioned, the eyes go very opaque white, and we're going to zoom in on that for you. So her eyes have gone very opaque, as you can see, and over the next couple of days they will go clear again, and typically that night or the day after she'll shed. So here she is on day 6 of the shed cycle. Day 7 of the shed cycle. The eyes have cleared. You can see they're quite black and shiny, and I suspect tonight, because her eyes have cleared, she'll shed her skin. So the next video will be day 8, and she will look much glossier. You'll see the colors much brighter, and we'll have a whole bunch of snake skin on the table. So this is day 7. Day 8 of the shed cycle. This ball python helix shed last night, exactly as I thought. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you her head, the skin that came off of it, and show you what it should look like. Notice that there is absolutely no skin left on Helix, all the way down to her face. Her nose is completely clear, and her skin has become lighter again. And that's it. So this has been day 8 of the shed cycle. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you've enjoyed watching Helix. And now we're going to go over her face and show you what it should look like. So this is what your ball python's face should look like once it's shed. You'll notice the eye caps, the entire head is all in one piece. In fact, if you turn over this piece, what I'm going to try and do here is show you that not only are the eye caps there in one piece, but right here you can actually see the nostrils and the heat pits are all still attached on one piece. If your ball python head does not look like this once it's shed, your humidity is way too low, and you need to, if you have a fish tank, you need to spray it much more often. And if it is a fish tank, you should probably look into investing in a ball python enclosure. Once again, I mentioned at the beginning of the video, if you haven't seen our humidity video or our substrate video, I highly recommend you check them out. Lots of information and tips on what you need to do in order to get perfect sheds like this. Also, if you want to meet Helix, I'm going to do another video, and I'll show you Helix, and I'll show you a little bit more about her and tell you a bit more. And that'll be posted at a later date. So check back if you want to get to know Helix. And that's it. That's our shed video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please visit us at www.rickysreptileenclosures.com to check out our reptile enclosures. If you have any questions, please either post them here or email us at info@rickysreptileenclosures.com. We'll see you soon.